This is Break Fast, a segment about how long I fasted before breaking, how much weight I've lost since my last fast, what foods I'm breaking it with, and how many calories I consumed, how long my eating window was, my weight after refeed, how I'm feeling, and what's next. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 19 of Break Fast. 19 episodes in means I have now done 19 consecutive 90 plus hour back-to-back fasts. That has lasted a time span of nearly 3 months at this point. So let's get into the numbers. The last 90-hour fast ended on June 17th, and that fast lasted me 91 hours and 58 minutes. The weigh-in on that day was 136.4 pounds. If we go back to the last 90-hour fast on June 13th, I weighed in at 137 pounds, so a net loss of 0.6 pounds. And it looks like, as I was looking through my previous weigh-ins after 90-hour fasts, at this point they're around about a half a pound, maybe 3/4 of a pound, but that's not bad. Again, it isn't as big of a loss as it initially was in the past, but being at the weight I'm at right now, coming to pretty much maybe the ideal weight I'm trying to get at, I'm guessing I'm somewhere around 130-ish. I don't know, maybe 125 if I'm really lean, but I won't know for sure until I get there. But I also know that as low as I am in my weight right now, I know that it's just not going to go, or the rest of the weight isn't going to go as quickly as it initially did. And I'm okay with that. I'm at a really good spot right now, how I feel weight-wise, wearing clothes, feeling confident about myself, and I couldn't be happier. But if we go back, way back to when I first started extended fasting, not when I was doing these back-to-back 90s, but back in September 12th of 2019, when I weighed 220.4 pounds, I have now lost a total of 84 pounds in a time span of just a little over 9 months. Now, before I show you what I broke my fast with, again, I have to put this disclaimer out there. Just because I do 90-hour fasts doesn't mean that you have to. Just because I refeed at 6,000 to 7,000 calories doesn't mean you have to either. What I'm trying to do is just document and be very transparent about how I've lost my weight, what I've gotten to achieve that, and where my head is going from here on out. I do also document this though because it might be a way to help other people figure out if extended fasting is a suitable option for them. Again, just because I do 90s doesn't mean you have to, but maybe, you eat more than the traditional 2,000 calories or whatever, and maybe a 48-hour is more helpful for you. Maybe a 72-hour is, and I can help you find that. If you want to leave a comment, please feel free to do so, and I'll try to get in touch with you and see if we can work out a plan, or at least try to see if I can help guide you in a better direction in trying to lose weight. And that's what it is, right? Because I am not the cleanest eater. If you are new to this series, you will see that I don't like restricting myself from what I eat or what I can and can't have as far as macronutrients. And that restricting myself, depriving myself of those certain things, usually for me, in my personal experience, sets me up for failure. And this method that I've been doing for this long is something that I've been successful with, that I've been continuing to lose weight with, and it has also put me in a good place as far as my mindset into still tweaking a lot of these things and trying to figure out how to live a healthier life, how to incorporate exercise and all that kind of stuff, and eventually, essentially, trying to tweak my diet enough where I can still have what I want and then still try to eat healthily and find a good balance between that too. Because I meant to save this for a future video, but you got to have that mindset. If you want to fast, it's not even fasting in general. It's just, if you want to have a healthier lifestyle, if you want to make a lot of these changes, I think you have to put yourself in that mindset instead of just physically saying, okay, I am going to do, a 4-day fast no matter what. And sometimes having those big of goals can sometimes, again, lead people to fail. And I don't say that to be discouraging. I say that because I have been in, those footsteps. I have worked my way to getting to a lot of these longer fasts. And, there's also a big part of me that was very, very, I guess, had a very strong sense of willpower on some days where I remember like cold turkey after just like eating like whatever for probably over half a year. One day I just decided to do an 11-day fast. And not everybody is capable of doing that. I think you have to find, what works for you or what's suitable for you. But I think consistency is the key. And I think smaller steps in a lot of ways is more important than taking big strides or big jumps if you can't sustain them. And that's something that I want to go, dig deeper into the future, but we'll save that for another day. Anyway, here is what I broke my fast with. All right, guys, you know how I do. Started off with a buffalo ranch salad, added a ton of chicken to it, 900 calories, and then I had Brussels sprouts, again, steamed, salt, pepper, garlic, 200 calories, and then I had 2 bananas for potassium, 210 calories, and then I went to Wendy's. I got this barbecue cheeseburger double. Let me read the description for you. This is a half pound of fresh beef, crispy fried onions, and American cheese covered in sweet and smoky barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. This was actually really good. I would eat this again. Maybe I will for my next refeed. 870 calories. And then I went to Wingstop, which is also pretty much a staple at this point. 10 boneless wings, 5 garlic parm, 5 Louisiana rub, plus ranch, 1,370 calories. And then I had half a bag of tortilla chips, and I think I had about 2/3 a pound of guac. And then I also had some salsa. We'll say this was around 1,500 calories. And then I finished off the Doritos I had from my last refeed. This was maybe 3 servings. Yes, I know I'm on the couch watching TV. Sorry, 450 calories. And then I also finished off the rest of that pumpkin pie I didn't eat. This is just about a quarter's worth, 700 calories. And I ended the night with 3/4 of this lemon cream pie. I was pretty full by the end of it, so I couldn't finish that. 690 calories, which totaled to 6,890 calories. And I ate all of this under 4 hours at 3 hours and 39 minutes. So again, closer to a 7,000 calorie refeed at a much smaller refeed window this time, at least under the 4-hour time frame. And if we talk about what I weighed in the day after the refeed, on the 18th of June, I weighed in at 140.8 pounds, which is a 4.4 pound gain. Actually, if you look at the previous refeed weigh-in numbers, that weight that I weighed in on the 18th is much lower than the previous ones. The last couple refeed weigh-ins have been anywhere between like 5 and 6 pounds of a weigh-in. And I think that also has a lot to do with just because I haven't been in the 130s. And now that I have consistently been falling back into the 130s, I think my body, or at least the weight, seems to be settling itself there, which is a good thing. So I'm hoping that in the near future, I'm going to be seeing less 140s and I'll be seeing more 130s on the weigh-ins, and only time can tell. I do want to touch base just a little bit more about the whole aspect of fasting, heavy refeeding, and losing weight. These are all different aspects of what I'm doing in general, but these are also all different aspects of the components needed to kind of get to your goals. And all of them are flexible when it comes to a way of eating or your lifestyle. And this is why I keep advocating that just because I just because I do it this way doesn't mean you have to. I think what I want to try to at least promote here is the fact that you can figure out what is sustainable for you, what is comfortable for you, and you tweak it enough where you can still lose weight consistently. Because yes, I know there are a lot of people, I am one of those people included, that wanted to just lose a ton of weight, and I did. And I kept that commitment. I had I guess at that time frame, my willpower was just really strong at that point. I had goals that I wanted to achieve. I wanted to look good for a wedding. If you haven't seen my very first video, that was my huge motivator at that point. But if you're not in a hurry to lose that weight and you want to try to, consistently lose weight and be in the same shoes that I might be in right now, where I'm over 9 months in, because I haven't had any kind of success for that long. If fasting for those lengths of time might be a bit difficult for you, kind of scale it back. Try to go with the consistent route and say, well, you know what? I might not be able to lose 5 pounds a week, but maybe I can lose a half pound a week for the next year, and just keep the consistency of fasting, where you tell yourself, well, you know what? Maybe I'll do it where at least I just do a minimum of 18 or 20 or 36s, and you won't eat back-to-back days. And even losing half a pound for the next 52 weeks is 26 pounds lost. And I have said this before. I lost 50 pounds, right? I think I lost 50 pounds in 78 days. That I know that number very well in my head, because that was how many days I had left before I had to go to this wedding. And I pushed really hard. But what I'm trying to get at is that 50 days, or those 78 days where I lost 50 pounds, yes, that was a great accomplishment. It was a personal, kind of, fulfillment for me. But for me to do what I've been doing for 9 months now, I take that as a whole, that consistency of me doing it, even me slipping up for 2 weeks in those 9 months. I take all of that, because out of those 2 weeks, it means nothing. That's a drop in the bucket to my consistency. Those 9 months, these 9 months of consistency, I think is a much higher achievement than those 78 days. Yes, I'm proud of myself for doing that, but I could have never guessed that after that wedding, after I had accomplished looking good in a suit or whatever, I would have never imagined that I would have been able to still continue, even when I had no real other motivations except for myself wanting to lose that weight, wanting to fit better into clothes, and wanting to be healthy. I would have never imagined, I thought I was just going to slip up somewhere and then kind of taper off and then try to figure out again. But at this point, it's been a long time, and I'm really happy where I'm at. Okay, so before I go, I do want to remind people that if you have any questions or you have any comments or concerns, please feel free to leave a comment below. I try to get to everybody as quickly as I can. I try to respond to everyone, because I think having a community is really important. I want to try to help guide people or try to encourage and inspire, because a lot of people comment back and tell me that, I'm an inspiration or I'm a motivation. And it's really encouraging for me, and it helps me push to do what I'm doing. So, if you are not a subscriber, please consider being one. I have seen an influx of subscribers lately, which is great. And I feel like we're building a really good community, a community that's also what I want to do is I want people to understand that, hey, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to eat the cleanest. You don't have to exercise full out. And I'm not saying that these things aren't important, because if you want to eat clean and you want to really push yourself and exercise, maximize, your workouts, I'm all for that. That's something I want to start striving towards. But I also know that sometimes those small steps, just getting up to start to doing these small things, is an accomplishment that I'm proud of. Sometimes I get some flack for what I eat. or how much I eat. And I will say this again, I am very unapologetic. For it. And a lot of that is because people have not been in my shoes. People haven't seen me eat over 10,000 calories multiple times a day, right? They haven't seen that kind of like overeating that I was not able to get over before, because sometimes a lot of that was very emotional. I would eat because I was just really upset, or it was because I was telling myself, okay, Jerome, tomorrow you are going to eat the cleanest. It's going to be the best diet. And so right now for the day before, you have to eat everything in sight. And these are a lot of the mental aspects that I have been able to clear out of my head. And again, this is why the mindset is so important. Anyway, I'll leave that for another day, because really the point I'm trying to make there is people don't know how you've lived in your shoes. So people can comment and sometimes it's out of love, right? They just want the best for you. But at the same time, I'm very transparent about who I am and what I do. And this is what's working for me. And I'm not closed-minded about it. I am always open to fixing the diet or eating better, but my mindset has to be there before I just start doing it. Because once I set barriers up, once I give myself like, no, you can't do that, that again is when, for me at least, failure becomes more likely. I'll leave it at that. Before I go, I also wanted to thank Michael Spear for upping his contribution on Patreon. Michael, thank you so much. I always want to give a shout out to people who become a supporter in that way. And I'll leave this here before I go to. I do have a Patreon. So if you are interested in supporting in that way, I'll leave a link in the description where you can go to patreon.com/finally fasting. For certain tiers, we also have a private Discord where we just chat and talk about what's going on in terms of our goals. I try to give daily updates, but I just have so much going on that it's a little difficult at this point. But I'm trying to touch all the bases where I can. I know I meant to post a video in between these two episodes of Break Fast, but it is what it is. Today, I am actually breaking fast number 20 of 90 plus hour back to back. So this 20th might be my last. I would say 99% sure this is my last 90 plus hour fast for now, as far as consecutive fasts. I'm about to, I think, do 65s and just see where my weight is at and then start focusing on building muscle. But I'll get into that in the future. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, if you haven't already, please feel free or consider being a subscriber. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Later, guys.